Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's episode, on the things you may have missed in Elden Ring, we're going to be covering the Divine Tower of Caelid. It's this humongous structure here in the north of Caelid, and it's the only thing we didn't cover whilst doing Northern Caelid, because the tower is quite a monster and deserves its own video. So as we're heading towards it now, follow my path to get to the side of the tower, and whilst I'm on my way, I'd just like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy this content, and thank you so much. Now we're here, let's get into the guide. Now that we're here and traversing around the edge of the tower, be very, very careful because there are some extremely precarious ledges and a lot of holes. In some parts, when you're traversing over the holes, I'd advise mounting up to make sure you make the jump. However, if you're not traversing over holes, I advise to walk to make sure there's less chance of you falling off. There's only two important items here that I'll be calling out, but I'll try and leave in the majority of my run so you can see exactly where I go. As we're going up these first few ladders, before I get to anything important, I'd just like to say an absolutely tremendous thank you to everyone on the channel, to all of our channel members, and anyone here that's used the super thanks feature. For anyone that doesn't know what this is, it's a one-off donation to help support your favourite creators, and it can be any amount determined by you, great or small, and every single super thanks is so tremendously appreciated and helps to create even more quality content for you. So again, thank you so much. Hopefully that little bit of waffle has allowed me time to get to the first item. Just as you round this corner, be careful of a knight, and then you'll find a stone sword key. Now we're going to continue up the tower, up another ladder, and over a few very precarious ledges. And eventually, when you get right to the end of this walkway, you can get a Newman's Rune. Now we can go up this ladder closest to us, and finally, we'll be at the site of grace. Congratulations! Once you've lit that and rested, we'll progress through the tower. Now that we're here, from the site of grace, start heading up the stairs to your right. Once you get to the top, it's not immediately obvious, but you can open this giant stone double door in front of you, and then you can start heading up this gigantic lift. Once you get to the top, provided you've already defeated Radahn at Redmane Castle, you'll be able to restore his Great Rune. And later on in this video is the first time ever I will be trying out a Great Rune other than Godric. So now we've grabbed that, I'll meet you back at the site of grace, and we'll continue down into the tower. Back at the site of grace, head the other way and start going down the stairs. You'll see two soldiers you have to deal with, and directly in front of them is a door we currently can't open, along with the summoning pool, so feel free to activate that if you want. Head out onto the balcony, drop down onto this ledge, and then start hugging the wall until you shortly come to another ledge that looks quite cracked and broken. Jump onto it and you will plummet down way further than you should usually survive. Now there's a small platforming section that's going to prepare us for a little bit of platforming later on in the subterranean shunning grounds, which we will be covering very soon in an upcoming video. Be very careful and walk off to drop onto the ledge below, and then drop onto this tiny little bit of stone sticking out from the wall, and then jump down again even further still onto the ledge just below that. Now there's another jump that I miss, but somehow it works out for me because I land further below where we needed to be anyway. So once you meet me down here, take out this soldier from range if you can, and then we'll start heading up this lift. At the top of this lift, before we do anything else, head all the way up this massive ladder and you can open a shortcut, which is the door that we couldn't open before, so you don't have to do all that platforming again from now on. Just a little bit further through this archway, you'll see a Godskin enemy. These guys are crazy powerful, so be super careful taking him out. And then right at the end of this corridor, you'll get a rune arc. Now it's time for some more platforming. If you have a look here, you can see the already broken ledge that we fell down before, and we're now back above it again. So we can carry on, scooching around the wall here, and drop down onto another ledge that is going to break beneath our feet. Again, by some miracle, we survived the fall, and now we can start heading down this lift, and right at the bottom, light the Divine Tower of Caelid basement site of grace. Rest here and do whatever you need to do to prepare yourself for a boss fight. I just wanted to very quickly address the name change and the rebrand for the channel. Hopefully, you'll have seen one of the various posts on the YouTube community page or on Twitter, etc. But just in case you're wondering what's happened, there are just a couple of reasons that Domtastic Gaming didn't fit the channel as perfectly as I would have liked it to. Firstly, as you probably saw, it was space themed. I never play space games, not even offline. I love Total War, Mount and Blade, Elden Ring of course, Lord of the Rings, Warcraft, and so many other fantasy games, so having a fantasy theme works perfectly for the channel. Also, if you ever type in Domtastic into a search engine, it always came out as domestic, which firstly makes my channel very undiscoverable, and secondly, the word domestic usually isn't used in a great context. So I really didn't want that to reflect poorly on the incredible community and amazing channel that we've built up here. So after trialing lots and lots of new names, Dom's Roundtable just felt like it fit absolutely perfectly. And I really hope you're all liking the new theme that we're putting into place for the channel. We have a lot more to come, and we'll be doing a full rebrand, including new scenes and transitions, especially for Twitch live streams, and also new fantasy themed emotes for members. Thank you for listening to that, and we'll get back into the video now. Alrighty, as soon as you're ready, start heading down the stairs and be super careful as you take out the first godskin you see, because you're going to need to make sure that you've got as much healing and FP as you possibly can, as you're just about to go into a boss fight with an extremely tough boss, the Godskin Apostle. And I think we just need to make this an epic boss fight cinematic without me talking over it. Because what happens at the end of this boss fight is so cruel and so painful that it must be witnessed in all of its glory. And I'll interrupt here just for the last few seconds of the fight, because he's nearly dead and... oh, fuck. Game over. Well, now that that happened, we'll head back in and do a little better this time, hopefully. Something to help you out with this fight, he gets particularly aggressive, and he starts moving and walking much quicker, and also gets a few new attacks in phase 2. Especially for magic users, this fight becomes incredibly scary. Also, I didn't dress it before the fight, but I did change to using Radahn's Great Rune, and I hate it. I'm going straight back to Godric's. Honestly, this has confirmed for me that I just can't stand any Great Rune that isn't Godric's. A straight up bonus in every single stat, to me, is so much more valuable than like increasing your HP or your FP. And now that we've taken out the Godskin Apostle, we'll be rewarded with the entire Godskin Apostle armor set, and in the chest at the very end of the room, you'll get the Godslayer's Greatsword, which, as you know if you've seen it, I voted as one of the best faith weapons in the game in my top 10 faith weapons video. Go and check out that if you haven't already, highly recommend it. My wifey very kindly edited that video for us, and it took her hours and hours to do. She put her heart and soul into it, and I am very proud of that video. Please go and check it out and show some support, because honestly she worked her butt off to get that done. And now that we've finished both the outside and the inside of the tower, we're going to head back out and go underneath. I'll show you exactly where I mean in the final tip, because we're going to be going and getting some very tasty loot. For the final tip, I've headed back outside to the first site of grace that we started the video at. And facing to the southeast of the tower, where you see the two dragons in the lake, you can drop down the edge of the cliff and work your way underneath. Down here, you are going to get some insanely awesome items, including a rune arc and a somber smithing stone 9. And whilst I'm just checking out the rest of the outside of the tower to make sure that we haven't missed anything, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.